Well, hi there, everyone, and welcome to the VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. Now, today is Tuesday, October 21st, and my name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from another beautiful day here in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, Roger's going to be covering a range of important topics with a continued focus on A-line alerts. And in today's VIP room, he's going to be talking about the difference between a smooth versus a choppy A-line stock. He's also going to share the importance of ADX, liquidity, and relative strength when picking an appropriate stock. He's also going to talk about when a stock is considered extended. This is a question we're asked an awful lot, is what do we mean by a stock being extended? And he's going to also share when to use spreads versus regular options. So when is it appropriate to use a credit spread or a debit spread on an A-line alert versus just regular options? And he's going to share some examples of a perfect A-line setup. And as a bonus, he's going to talk about the top stocks for consideration today. Now, if you've got any question during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we'll address them periodically throughout the session so as to not interfere with Roger's presentation. And remember, folks, that the chat is open to everyone, and we do have some ground rules. Number one, always be kind and supportive when you post. Also, folks, please keep to the topic. No political discussions allowed. And always, folks, just keep your side conversations to a bare minimum so that the rest of us can focus on the education and the information that Roger's going to be sharing. Because, he's with us here today to help us get an edge in the market and to help us become all more confident and consistent in our trading activity. Now, as for those of you that were with us this morning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I sure hope that was the majority of you, you'll note that Roger had his pre-market show, and we started by taking a look at what are the catalysts for today. And there were several. Looking at industrials, we noted that Pulte and Newmont Mining, Pulte was down 3%, Newmont Mining down 8%. On the financial side, we saw that WI Berkeley was down 1%, but that the NASDAQ was up 3%. In the healthcare front, we saw that Elevance Health was down 4%. In aerospace, Northrop Grumman was down 1%. On consumer discretionary, Coca-Cola was up 3%. And as far as Fed was concerned, there was a couple of speakers that were on tap to speak today. So when we say catalyst, what are we talking about, folks? We're talking about information that is either known or will be known during today's trading session, but is not yet priced into the market. And remember, these are catalysts that we identified pre-market, and it just helps position ourselves as to what we need to be aware of and be sensitive to. Now, he also shared with us 6 small cap watch stocks today, and you'll see them here: JWEL, NERV, ATMV, IVBD, BOF, and SPWR. Now, with regard to these small cap folks, there's several things that you need to remember. Number one, the key to Roger's selection is not only price action, but he's looking at extreme pre-market volume. And when I say extreme, I'm talking about like 100 times what the normal volume is. Secondly, just remember that small caps are not market dependent. They're not impacted by the same things that we consider when looking at large cap stocks. And that's because institutions don't put money into small caps. It's just retail investors like ourselves. And also, folks, if you consider entering any of these trades, wait until more normal market hours. And if you don't see an entry before 2 p.m. Eastern time, just bag it. Don't worry about it. Come back and look at something else. And if you do get into one of these trades, never, ever hold these overnight. They're so volatile, you could wake up tomorrow morning with a nasty surprise. So none of that. Now, along those lines, let's take a look at how these small cap stocks are doing today. So let me share my other screen over here, and we'll take a look, and we definitely have a star. Of the 6 stocks that were selected today, we start up here in the upper left-hand corner, JWEL. Well, the pre-market high was $3.20, and it opened here and hasn't done anything. It's just moving sideways. But the star for today is NERV. The pre-market high was $7.69. And right here at the open, we blew right through that level, reached a high of $12.46. That's a 62% gain in the underlying price of that stock. So if you got in and took this one, folks, you're sitting there with a nice, tasty profit. If we look at the other ones, ATMV, the overnight high was $22.50. Once again, never even came close to sniffing that. In the lower left-hand corner, IFBD, the pre-market high was $1.49. Once again, nothing happening there. In the lower middle, we have BOF. The overnight, the pre-market high, $3.37. Once again, just chopping sideways, nothing there. And then lastly, SPWR. If we take a look at that, $3.24 was the pre-market high, and nothing happened there whatsoever. But the star for the day is NERV. Now, along those lines, folks, we're going to start tracking how these small cap stocks are doing. So far this week, for example, yesterday we had 5 stocks, and one of them actually did hit, at the open of the market. Then it retraced, and then it came back, and several people reported picking up anywhere from 12 to 18% win on that. And then today we have one. So we've got, let's see, what would that be? 5 and 6. That's 11 small cap opportunities, and 2 of them hit, and 2 of them did in fact profit. Now, when we talk about the large caps, folks, this is what Roger was focused on today for large caps. On the short side, he was looking at 6 stocks: PGR, WYBRBR, BIRK, RHI, and BWIN. Okay. And these were on his short watch list. And for those of you that were with us today, you know that Roger brings up the chart, he looks at the ticker, and then he gives us a real quick analysis as to what he sees going on. On the long side, there was a pretty long list of stocks that Roger was recommending for us. I think it's 11 in total. And you'll notice that 2 of those, SRE and PANW, PANW, they both have an asterisk. And that means that these are stocks that are looking nice, as it relates to being a possible A-line setup. So from that standpoint, that's a good thing right there. And we are going to be talking a lot more about A-lines today to help keep that into perspective. So those were the long stocks that Roger was looking at. Now, as far as his pre-market comments were concerned, he noted once again, as we opened up the room, that the markets are flat, they're choppy, and quote unquote, pretty darn boring coming into the open. He did note that the bonds were moving higher, and he liked that. And the VIX had retraced all the way down below 20. Now, it hadn't closed there, but it already had dropped below 20. So those are things that would lead us to believe that we might see some kind of a bounce in the market. But the markets were not responding. As a matter of fact, Roger's concern was that they appeared to be just consolidating below a pretty important resistance level, which he thought was kind of disappointing. He then pointed to the fact that sector rotation appeared to be favoring defensive stocks with, real estate, for example, and and utilities and things of that nature creeping up there. And so once again, he's going like, I don't like that. I would prefer to say more interest rate sensitive sectors up there at the top. But that sector rotation, which is almost happening now on a daily basis, is swinging back and forth. Yesterday, it was the other way. He also did note that he said, guys, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if there was some profit taking today, given the fact that the markets are sideways and choppy, and there's just very little firepower in the market to drive stocks. His closing comments: don't go crazy today, guys. Don't be looking for those big ass opportunities. Today may just be a duplicate of what we saw yesterday. So it could feel just like another Monday from that standpoint. So for today's agenda, folks, continued focus on the A-line. And Roger's going to talk about the difference between smooth and choppy A-line stocks. He's going to share with us the importance of the ADX, liquidity, and relative strength when it comes to determining a good A-line stock. He's going to talk about when a stock is considered extended and overextended. There's been a lot of questions in our mailbag about that. He's also going to talk about when to use spreads, whether it's a debit spread or a credit spread when trading an A-line stock versus just using regular options. He's going to give us some examples of a perfect A-line setup. And as a bonus, he's going to share the top stocks for consideration today. So with that, folks, once again, we're delighted to have you here. We got a good group of people here in the room, and let's say hi to the team. Matt, how you doing? Roger, how you doing? I know that you guys are teamed up together. You're in the same room in Roger's home as you get ready to move to the new offices. Everything going well, Raj?
Everything's going great. Everything's going perfect, actually. It couldn't be better. We're just making sure everything is good. And by the way, is YouTube on right now? It
Yes.
is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Let me double check this. I am. Hold on.
46 people in there.
Really?
Naples fan, Mike, Javad,
Yep, it's going, Raj.
Jody.
I must be losing my mind. I can't seem to find YouTube. All right, good to know. Good to know. Oh yeah, there we are. Okay, I had an old tab on. Perfect. I like everything to be perfect before we start. Want everything to be perfect, but we're good. How's everybody doing today? How's
I think
everybody's doing today?
I think once again, we got a great group of people here, Roger, and I liked your opening comments. One thing, it's just like kind of boring overnight. Nothing happening here. No fireworks, no nothing, pretty sleepy. And I'm just looking at the charts here as well, Raj, and I'm not seeing anything much different than we saw at the open. But I will comment that one of our small caps took off this morning, and that was
Oh,
NERV.
yeah.
Okay. And it went up 64%. So if people followed your guidelines, they would have made a tasty little profit on that guy. The entry was 769 and it reached a high of 1246. And so, Roger, just keeping track of things, we had 6 small caps today, 5 yesterday. One did hit yesterday for 12%, 12 to 15% gain. So we're 2 out of 11 so far this week.
Okay, fair enough. Two out of 11. Okay, so we had 2 hit and 2. So we had out of 11 stocks, 2 hit and 2, and both made money. Is that
And both
correct?
made money. Yes.
Okay, two. So two. So far it's just 2 for 2. Okay, perfect. Mm, Because the way I look at it, Raleigh, is this. You know how I give you a watch list of 20, 30 stocks every day for my large caps,
Right.
but we essentially trade, 1 or 2 of them? It's going to be the same thing with these small caps. We just don't know which ones will fit that criteria after the market opens.
Right.
And the truth is, I rather none hit. I rather nothing hit at all than something just hit. And another, what I'm trying to say is, I rather have no trade than a losing trade. That's kind of
Yes.
what I'm trying to say.
I think we would all agree with that.
Yeah. So just a few things before we begin. And thank you for the nice testimonials. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Richard, Francis, Deanna, JB, Jody, Devin, Javad, Mike, Naples fan, Seth, and everybody on you and everybody on Zoom. We got Michael, we got Ken, we got Wesley, Andrew, Rick, Bodine, Nestor. We got Shannon, SB, we got Ralph, we got Kirk, Omar, Marina, Mary, and if I'm not pronouncing, if I'm missing your name, I'm just going by really quick. Ted, Dr. Luke, $1,000 on Alpha on the SPY today. Excellent. Mike Clyde, Don, Armin. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. So I want to make a couple of very, very quick announcements for you. Very brief. So this morning we announced that we're switching to a new webinar hosting platform. And we got some, I'm just going to say this nicely, some really crappy feedback about that platform from people who are already seen that platform, because we've had other gurus like Graham and Nate use that platform and maybe others as well. I just don't know. So what we decided to do is we're going to fine tune that platform and make that platform a little bit better and a little bit tighter before bringing it to you guys, okay? Because I don't want you guys, I don't want to be delayed 18 seconds, because I am very interactive with you guys. It'll be
Well,
like,
I think it's fair to say we had varied input.
yes,
Okay. And
yes,
at this
yes,
point in time, that's not good for us.
exactly.
Okay. We want to make sure that, you're
Yes,
never going to make 100% of the people happy all the time,
no, no,
but we
no,
can certainly strive for 95%. And so
absolutely.
from that standpoint, we're just going to wait a little bit. But the name of the platform is WisePub. We're definitely going to be heading that way. There's
Yes.
some enhancements coming to it, but in the meantime, we'll continue to take care of you guys in Zoom and in YouTube. So let's not fret over that. But when it's ready, it'll be a positive across the board and we'll give you plenty of heads up. And I do want to answer a question that came up a lot, Roger. We're not
Yes.
talking about an app that anybody ever has to download. It'll just
Mhm.
be an easy click when we make that cutover, but we'll give you plenty of heads up, folks. We could focus on the markets and trading.
Well, and I thank you, thank you. That's actually what I was going to say. That was my second announcement. It's not based on a software. You can just access. You don't have to download anything for it. But
Right.
again, I just wanted it to be ready. I just wanted it to be ready when it's ready. Basically, what Raleigh just said. So those are a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Now, let's now talk about the market and price action. This morning, I told you that I'm not really expecting all that much from the market, right? As a matter of fact, I wasn't even sure we're going to go higher, but we did, which is a bonus. But if you look at market internals today, we opened at negative 356. Yesterday, we opened up at positive 1500. Big difference, big difference. But what's interesting is we've been able to go from negative 380, 356 to positive 784 throughout the day. And Vold is like glued to the top of the day. So I'd love to be wrong. I don't think I was wrong. I think that we got a slightly better reaction than I was seeing in the morning, and that makes me that's perfect, absolutely perfect. I was thinking we are just going to kind of sit inside today, and today was going to be more of like a Monday, but today's actually, as the day's progressing, we're actually seeing better momentum, and that's really positive. Nothing is better, folks. Nothing is more powerful than the day building up gradually. It's one thing. It's one thing when the market opens up and then it comes down and then it goes up again and it goes sideways, this and this and that. But in this case, it's beautiful because the market is building gradually, and that is the best possible move. That's telling us that it's not emotional buying. It's folks who are it's basically folks who missed out on yesterday who are like, oh, I want to get another bite of the apple and are continuing to buy. That's really, really good. Really, really good. At the same time, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Christopher. At the same time, you'll notice that the SPY is still not too deviated from the 8-day EMA. Look, we're nowhere near up here. 677.97. We're nowhere near up there yet. Okay. You know what I'm going to do, Matt? Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you take can you show us your market internals for a second? I'm going to I don't want to cut and paste, move it to a different computer. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to show me your market internals for a second. It's one thing talking about it, but it's another thing showing it to you guys. All of the videos, everything we do here live will always be available on YouTube. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Raleigh. Just confirmed all that. Okay. So this is what I wanted to talk about. This is perfect. So, all right, there's the Vold. Wait, can you just go to
put the VIX?
yeah. Put the Vold for today, just for today. Yeah. So let's start off. Perfect. So look at this. Look at this. Notice how we opened up at negative 3. Can you narrate with your mouse? I'm talking about the ADD right now. Look at how we
Okay.
yeah. Look at how we opened up at negative 356.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at where we are right now. Now, 766 is not running away with the circus, but it's really good to go from negative 356 to positive 758. That means on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 6 bullishness. But it's not a 2 negative. It's not a 2 or 3 negative. It's a positive. Also, Matt, would you post the Zoom link into somebody who wants to go from YouTube to Zoom, if you don't mind? Thank you. Also, now look at the Volt. Look at the Volt. How we opened lower, and look, it's been going up, and we have a triple top right now on the Volt, and that's good at this time of day. That's really, really good this time of day. And if you look at VIX, you'll see the VIX is now well below 20, around 1772. That's all the way to the right side.
Yeah, how about that? Yep.
Right there. So again, I don't have anything negative to say. The only thing I'm not liking, and this is the exact same comment as yesterday, the only thing I'm not liking, and Matt, go to point of control all the way to the left, upper right. You see how the upper point of control, how we are right at the upper resistance area? No, price action. See the blue area that you're seeing right here? Yeah, there we go. You see how we're all the way at the upper edge of that area, and there's not much there. It hasn't built up a lot. So we're way above the current we're not, this is not an area of comfort. This is a new price discovery area.
No.
So this price discovery, that, yeah, where Matt is pointing a minute ago, right there, that's where we've been. That's like the last 5 days sweet spot for buying.
It's actually even extended on the 20.
Yeah, the folks in the last month, folks have been really liking that area. See that area? And look at where we're at. So one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to fall back into that area between 669.87 and 657. And I know it's a wide area. Or we're going to create a new area, and 670 is going to become the new support. So just keep that in mind, okay? And by the way, every one of you who has Alpha Zone Pro or Trading Zone Live should at this point already have this dashboard right here, okay? All right, Matt. Let me unshare. Go ahead and unshare your screen. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you never get to see my room, guys. This is what my room looks like. I'm right. I'm right here. If you look at Matt right there, here, I'll see. I'm right here behind.
Yeah,
Matt.
I see the back of Matt's head there, right there. Yeah,
I'm right there. So it's not a big room. It looks pretty big on the picture, but it's enough for about 4 people.
4 people, 2 cats, and a dog.
Exactly. Yeah. Mina's not here right now. She decided to run away with the circus. Also, I wanted to ask you guys real quickly while I share my screen again. I've been posting a lot of pictures of AI pictures of the cat with messages and things like that are actually market related. Do you guys want me to stop doing that, or do you guys like it? A lot of people like it. I haven't heard any bad messages. My wife told me yesterday, she's like, stop doing that. People don't want to see the cats. They want to see the Mario. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to ask them. So you guys got to tell me if you guys got to tell me if you like the cats, or keep going. Comedy coming. I like it. Okay, cool. All right. Like it. I want it to be light because the markets are not light. So I want to keep it a little light. So I figured it's entertaining. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, so Roger,
Good.
before we
Yes.
move off of things, there was a question that came up about the volume
Yes.
indicator. He said, what is the volume indicator again? Can you give a quick talk about that? Just a quick little, you're talking about the market internals.
Yes, the volume indicator. We're talking about the VOLD.
Oh.
The VOLD what the VOLD does is it's an indicator that tracks the S&P 500. I'm gonna let me, Matt. You're gonna have to share your screen again. Okay, it'll just take a second. It's not a big deal, but just share your screen. I want to go through the VOLD.
It's pretty critical though for
Yeah,
the
it's
way we
pretty
look at the
important.
markets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really important indicator. I use it. Klaus, that's funny. I don't even trade stocks. I subscribe to the pit for the
Oh, the pictures.
You're cracking me up, man. That's funny, Klaus. Oh, you guys crack me up. You guys really do crack me up. Yeah, I love you guys. You guys crack me up. Okay, so here's the VOLD. It's all the way at the bottom left. Matt has his the little arrow on it, right? Yeah, there it is. So, okay, there's 2 ways of looking at the VOLD, and the VOLD. A lot of folks want to make sure that the VOLD is positive or negative. I don't use the VOLD that way. So I just look at the quality of the trend. In other words, if the VOLD is at negative 21,500, I don't care. I just care that if it's moving up or down. Okay. What I also care about is how consistently is it moving up or down. The best volt readings are readings when the voltage just starts at low and just goes up all day, or it just goes down all day. When it starts zigzagging and doing all that, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the volt is used for, the volt leads the market. Volume leads the market. Does it do it every time? No. Richard will tell you it does it 99.9% of the time. I'm going to tell you that it does it about 80. It does it about 80 to 90% of the time. Matt is sharing his screen because I could see it.
Yep.
So 8, which is quite a bit. The point is, if you see the volt moving up, and I don't care where the volt is at. That's the big difference between me and other traders. They actually look at where the volt is. I just look at what the volt is doing. So if the volt is doing this, just kind of, moving up at like 30, 40 degree angle, and the SPY is coming down, there's an 80% chance that the volt is going to catch up with it.
Mm-hmm.
It happens several times a day. Richard says, don't listen to him. It does it 99.9% of. Again,
you know what? I think this is a statement of eventualities.
It does it most of the time, the great majority of the time. So I'm just trying to be extra responsible, Richard. I don't want people coming back to me and saying, "Well, you said it does it."
Mm-hmm.
It does it most of the time. It leads the SPY by sometimes by an hour. That's not really a great thing. It'd be better if it led it by 15 or 20 minutes. But what it does is it takes all the volume in all the stocks that are moving higher, and it takes the volume and subtracts the volume of the stocks that are moving lower from that volume. So it's literally giving us. Can you open the door a little bit, Matt? And can you get me a couple of sodas so I don't ask you twice from the little fridge? Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. It's stuffy in here. Yeah, so what the volt will do is it will take all the volume automatically. You don't have to do any of this. This is a market internal. The exchange automatically calculates this for you, and it'll look at all the volume that's coming into the market, into the S&P 500. We may want to wait. We got some folks removing I have a huge and anyway that let them give it like 2 minutes. They're removing a huge treadmill. I have a commercial treadmill and it's leaving this house. So Matt can't go downstairs. Anyways, so it's a jungle out there, Matt. All right. So what it does is it compares it in real time. And what you will find is price follows volume. If you don't believe me, just keep the 5-minute volt, and put the SPY next to it. Mm-hmm. And you will see that the SPY follows the volt 90. If it deviates, the volt doesn't catch up to the SPY. The SPY catches up
to the volt. Yeah,
exactly. Catches up to the volt. So it's a big difference. And all you have to do is keep an eye on them for a few hours or a few days, and you'll be like, "Yep, it definitely happens." Matt doesn't have the SPY here; he just has the volt. On mine, I have the SPY and the volt. So I see it like this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, the volt started going straight up. The SPY was going straight down. By 11 o'clock in the morning, guess what? They were best friends again.
Yep.
Yeah. Just look at this. Look at the market at 10 o'clock, like a little bit between 10 and 11. See that down move? The volt was going straight up. And what did the market do? It catches up. It does it all the time. So it's a very, very valuable indicator. Now, again, a lot of folks use the volt for overnight price action. I don't do that at all. A lot of them use it for how's it closing tonight, to see what it'll do tomorrow, or how strong is it, or what's the actual value of it. I don't look at any of those things. I just look at the quality of its trend. In other words, is it going up, and then is it going down? Is it going up again? The more it fluctuates, the volt, the less luster it has. But the more it just moves one way, and then having the SPY right around it, boom, that's really what I've noticed. And I don't want to tell you there's other relationships. I just haven't seen them. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Where the hell did you get that one from? Thanks.
But, as you know, Roger, it's a huge confirmation for entering trades or staying in a trade or even getting out of a trade. So anybody that, has got Trading Zone Live, for example, you'll know how much Matt is focused on those market internals to make those critical decisions on the
Yeah,
spy.
it's really it's really there's a huge correlation there. Huge correlation there. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff. Matt, I'm gonna go ahead and unshare your screen. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I bring this up all the time, but folks keep emailing me about this. And this is about the A. I want to get back to the A line real quick. Let me just switch my. Where's my share my screen here? All right. So I want to show you guys something here. All right. All right. So wanted to show you guys something. A lot of times, including yesterday, I talked about the quality of a trend. Okay. So I want you guys to see something right here. Look at Cisco. Okay. The stock is going up, right? Doesn't have very much to the left of us right now, but look at this trend. Look at this trend. Let's say you buy right here and you're wrong by 1 day. You're going to have to wait 4 or 5 days to come back here. Let's say you buy right here and you're wrong. You're going to have to wait 5, 6 days till you're right again. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to show you a different stock. Do you see this stock? Now look at the difference carefully, okay?
Wow.
Look at the difference. Can you tell the difference?
It's night and day.
Well, maybe for you it's night and day, but I want to make sure it's for night and day for others. So you look at the difference. This stock versus this stock. Smooth. Big difference, right? Big difference. So let's say we get into this stock here. We don't have to really, and we're wrong. Boom, we're right there. We're right back, and you barely lost anything. You barely lost anything. It's much easier. It's much easier to make money on stocks like this than stocks like this. Boom, 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 boom. It's all over the place. Not all over the place at all.
Well, that
Right?
kind of gets back to your thought, Roger, about, it doesn't hurt to look left every now and then.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. How something got there is more importantly than where it is. Put that in your notebook. How something got there is more important than where it is. Do you understand what I just said, folks? I want to make sure you guys understand what I just said. How did we get here? Ask yourself, how did we get here? Okay. How did we get to this spot? What was the price action doing to get us to this spot? You understand? How many times do we violate the 15-day moving average getting here? Do you understand, Fred? RGTI, let's take a look. I mean, it's not really a great example because it's already coming down. I want to find something that's moving up. This is a clean stock. The problem here is it's just extremely overvalued. I mean, overextended, and it keeps getting more overextended till here. But I'd rather pick stocks that we're looking at right now. So, for example, D-Dog. Okay, but we'll talk about it all that in a second. Like, for example, look at this stock. Let's go back here. All the way since September, okay, since September, what has this stock been doing? It's been respecting the 8-day EMA except for one time. Except for one time. You see, where we are right now is one thing. How we got here is another thing. Has it been choppy? No, it hasn't. Has it been respecting our lines, our levels? Yes. What about Cisco? Is Cisco expecting our levels? I don't even know what the hell this thing is doing. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. Now, I'm showing you two fairly extreme examples right now. But you know how many traders take into account what I am saying right now when they decide on stocks? Probably 5%. You want to get your win rate from 65, 70% to 85, 90%? Then you better be learning this. Well, Roger, can't you just give us a technical indicator that can help us with this? Nope. Nope, hasn't been made yet. Your eye. Your eye. And that's a good thing. Because if it takes your eye, then most folks won't get it because they can't see exactly what I'm talking about right now. They don't get it. So I'm going to go through some stocks. Now, what's the most important factor to a good A-line stock? What do you guys think? Max says, what's a reasonable return on investment to shoot for? Max, can I ask you a question? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about right now? So what is the most important factor to look at? What do you guys think? The quality of the trend, how well the stock is moving up and at what slope. So let's look at some right now, okay? Let's look at some right now and see if we could. This is the most important thing to identifying a good A-line. Ask yourself, how did we get there? As a matter of fact, remember that little sheet we were putting together yesterday? Those beasts. Hold on. Okay, let's go back to our criteria. Remember we were talking about this yesterday right here? All this stuff we were talking about yesterday? Mm-hmm. So let's add the most important. Oh, I can't add. I got to edit from here. Sorry about that. Right here. I got a lot of windows here too. Don't worry. Just because I'm not at the office doesn't mean I don't have 8 monitors.
Right.
I actually have 6 here. Actually, no, 6 plus Matt has 4, 10. All right. Quality of the trend. Quality of the trend. No chop. Okay? Very important. I added it. That's the document I gave you yesterday, okay? Trump is speaking right now? Really?
Yep.
No, I guess he is. So let's look at some and let's see if you guys can identify the quality of the trend. Okay? Yeah, I'll repost. Sure. Sorry if you weren't here yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of people were having issues because of that Amazon. You know, Raleigh, people didn't realize how much they were impacted by it.
Yeah, because a lot of peripheral or ancillary services were impacted, you know.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. And that's a big problem because a lot like credit card companies, trading companies, it was a bar chart. All right, I reposted it I reposted it for all of you guys. I reposted it just now. Okay, I reposted it. So let's look at some trends. Now, I want you to tell me, okay, from 1 to 10, the quality of the trend in all the stocks that I'm going to give you from 1 to 10. This would probably be like a 9.5, 10 right here. Okay, this is beautiful right here. This right here, this right here would probably be a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd agree.
You agree? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm being reasonable. I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be too hasty. So let's just go through them, okay? And you guys all will I want to see if you guys see the same thing I do. It is a hard day to trade today. All right. So can you close the door, Matt? There, the vacuum. They're vacuuming right there. Tuesday's a rough day. The maids are here. By the way, Richard, did you get your wife a maid? I'm just messing with him. Okay, this stock. Now, this stock used to be a 10. Both Richard and I conveyed, and we both gave TPR a 10. But what about now? What about now? What would you guys say? She can hear me. Okay. No, I don't think it's a 6. I would say it's a 7. I would say it's a 7. I would say it's a 7. I mean, it's respecting the 50-day moving average consistently. It's got more chop, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. I mean, it doesn't look like this. This is like all over the place. This got some. I would say this is a 7, 6.5, 7. Yeah, yeah. Richard loves this stock. He learned how to use the anchored VWAP with this stock. All right. Shoo. What about this stock? What do you guys think? Look how well it respects the 15-day. What would you say? By the way, every one of these stocks is on my watch list. This is a solid 9. That's a solid 9. That's really nice. I mean, think about it. What's wrong with it? It's moving in a nice clean trend. It has one little whoop here. That's nice. Hey, Richard, we're having a nice section. We're having a beauty contest. That's a 9. Oh, good. YouTube is cooperating, is contributing too. I like that. I like that. Good, 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 good. I like when a plan comes together. Okay. How about this stock? What would you guys say? I would say it's a 6, 5.5, 6. Yeah, we're in the right ballpark. Good. Again, I'm not trying to CRM. What do you guys think about this one? It's just a lot of chop. Yeah, I'd probably say about a 4. What would you say, Raleigh?
I would say about a 4 as well. And it makes me wonder a little bit, Roger, about how far back do we want to look to the left?
We want to
You
go
know,
left. We want to go to the left about 4 months, 3-4
about
months.
4 months. Okay,
Yeah,
good point.
like up
Because
to about.
it's kind of seductive, if I could look back 6 weeks,
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like, reason up to about here, 2/3 of the screen.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to go too big because then you lose perspective. Okay, let's continue. Folks, believe it or not, if you may, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but this is really valuable. Paul, send me an email, roger@rogerscott.com. Let's continue. Oops, wrong stock. This stock. What do you guys think? Solid 8, 8.5, maybe even I would say 8.5, 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. You guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. I'm gonna tell you something. If you, I'm not kidding. If you do what we're doing right now in your trading, in your own personal trading, and you take the next 100 trades, Just look at your trades, your previous 100 trades, and look at your next 100 trades. Your win rate will go up by about 20%. Minimum. Accuracy on stocks, not your profit factor, but your win rate. Okay. Let's continue. Pan W. What do you guys think? It's exactly what Richard just says. What do you guys think? Oh, I would say this is I would say that it's a perfect A line right now, by the way. Remember, we were waiting for it to break through this level. We now have a perfect A line, but I would give this a 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 8 even. This is a nice looking stock. Pulling back, respecting the 8-day, came out here, coming back up. It's a nice stock. Okay, let's continue. Caterpillar. Remember, we're not looking at the last 3 days. We're looking at the quality of the move. We're looking to how we got here. What do you guys think? Yeah, I would say 7.5, 8. Not an easy stock to trade, by the way. Can you see if they stop vacuuming and open the door? It's so hot in here. 1 second, folks. Just want to open the door a little bit, but I want to make sure they're not vacuuming. Coast is clear? Okay, thank you. And by the way, it happens to be right at the 8-day EMA. Okay. Next one. D-Dog. What do you guys think about D-Dogs? A lot of people, by the way, Raleigh, we're having a lot of people from YouTube
participating too.
Participate, yeah. A lot of people from YouTube are participating. I love that. Thank you, guys. I'm watching you. I have the YouTube chat open. I'm seeing everything you're posting, and I appreciate it. Kerr, Catherine, 6-7. I would say. Let's take a look. Yeah, I would say it's 5.5, 6. 5.5 to 6. Okay. Let's continue. Garmin. I'm giving you guys some really juicy A lines, by the way, today. Let's see. 7, 7.5. Yeah, we're landing on 7s. Yeah, I would say this is a 7.5. 7.5. 7.5, close to 8. 7.5. It's not a bad looking stock. And the slope, it's got a nice slope to it. Okay. Okay. How about this stock? Me too, Cyrus. It's very gappy. Notice it's not just choppy, it's gappy. Folks, one of the most important things that I want you to pay attention to is stocks that gap. I really learned my lesson 2 Christmases ago. You know that that healthcare company that makes that weight loss drug.
Ozempic or something
Ozempic,
like that?
Ozempic. Yeah, thank you. How could I forget Ozempic? The NVX, I think, or NVO. That was the ticker symbol. I traded NVO. Thank you, Nicholas. I traded that 2 Christmases ago. And I forgot that it was an ADR, which means it's a company that's traded in another country. So we're basically getting the night session. And that obviously is going to have a lot of gaps because you don't know what happens to a stock during the day session. So now I want to teach you guys something really important with this stock, okay? I spent about 2.5 hours preparing for this lesson today. Why? Because I want you to learn this. Remember when I first started talking to you and I first started this, I said, the most important thing is not where we are at. It's how we got there. And some folks were like, well, what do you mean exactly? Well, if I look at this stock and where we're at right now, that's an A setup right there. That's an A line setup right there. We made a swing high. We came back to the 15-day. We tagged the 15-day, and now we're back up. If we can get above this level right here, if we can get above every one of these stocks has a different lesson to teach you. But if we can get above this level, we have a perfect breakout on an A line. So if I was to just look at this, I would say this is a beautiful A line. It's a 9 out of 10. But remember, I said the most important thing is not where we're at. It's how we got there. And look how we got there. Look how gappy the price action is. Jagged. Very unpredictable. Very not really like, I can't really say it's so unsmooth except for this line. It's more gappy. It's very gappy. Gappy is you can get into very big trouble with gappy price action, especially if you pay attention to your P&L. Okay? So be very, very cautious with gappy stocks. You see the stock NVO? You see here how it gaps? It just gaps. It goes from one area to another. And that gap can be quite significant. So just know, this is the stock I got really, I mean, I didn't get really hurt on it, but I learned a lesson not to do it. That was one of the 24 pit losers that we had in 2 years. Okay, so let's continue. LNT. What about this stock? So that's what I'm trying to teach you. If you look at that stock and how it looks now, it looks like a perfect A line. But if you go back and look at the last 3-4 months, you'll see that stock is not doing so well. So don't just look at what's right now. Look at how did we get to where we are right now. You know why? Because if you're looking at a stock to get you in, that means you're really going to like how it's looking right now. The question is, do you like how it looked 3 weeks ago? Because the odds are, after today, after you buy the stock or sell the stock is going to look exactly like it looked. It's going to resume trading like it did a few weeks ago. And you'll be like, man, why did I get into this stock? Because you got into it because it looked good right now. But how did it get there? What was the quality of the move getting us there? Like this is in a good place right now. How did it get us there? It's not bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong here. This is a 7.5, 8. There's nothing wrong here. It's very nice. Only has, I think it has the most 3 days before it comes back up, or respects the 8-day, solid 7.5. Solid 7.5. If you guys, I'm going to now go to the short side. If you guys are not getting this lesson, if you're not saying, oh, okay, I totally see why that's a 7. I totally see why that's an 8. I totally see the difference between this and this. If you guys cannot see it clearly, like really clearly, go back about 4 months, Ray, 3 to 4 months. If you can't go back and you can't read price action clearly like that, then take away all of your indicators away from your chart and start reading price action. And you will thank me for it. I've never once in my life, think about this, guys. I've met how many people how many people do you think I've traded or helped succeed to trade, or maybe not even succeed, but help? How many? Thousands and thousands and thousands. I have never once got an email with somebody complaining about learning price action. I've never in my life got an email that says, man, since I learned price action, I've been losing money consistently. I've never, ever seen that email before. Ever, ever, ever. You know how many emails I've got? Roger, I've been using this indicator and I've nothing but lost money, probably once a day. But I've never once got an email in my life saying, because I learned how to read price action, I've been consistently losing money. It's never happened before. Think about that. Do you think it's a coincidence?
Nope.
Not. It's not. It's not. It's not. So please, 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 before you start asking me about what settings I use on the ATR indicator or why the ADX is not good till it's below 50, learn to read price action. And when I say price action, go back on every chart you're thinking of buying and ask yourself, is it gappy? How many days does it go below us before coming back up? Does it respect the 8-day EMA? Is it sloping like this or is it sloping like this? This price, if I'm wrong on my trade, what will happen? What if I buy here? How long will it take me to get back up? Ask that information is 10 times more important than whatever else you think is going on. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I have no incentive. I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you, that's where the money is. That's where the money is. Look what Richard just said, 100%. Richard uses price action 90% of the time. I know that because we correspond all the time. All right? All the time. The indicators will be your best friends when you have price action moving in your direction. The indicators will be your worst friends if you ignore price action and rely on the indicators. The indicators are only as good as the math that goes into them. And guess what the math that goes into them? These price bars. That's the math. It's like looking for fire to burn. Some some wood is very dense and it'll burn for hours and hours, and other wood you put in and it'll just burn up in like a minute. Like it's like basswood, it's really hollow, versus like maple or ash. See, I know a little bit about wood, but the porous wood. You guys understand what I'm saying? Learn price action. Richard, look what Richard just wrote. Once you learn price action, all the indicators under the sun are only used for confirming price is telling you. Exactly. Yeah, the indicator doesn't tell me anything except, oh, what's the price doing? Okay, the indicator's helping me out. So there's a reason we're spending this much time on this. Now, what are some tools you can use to assist you? Okay. Folks, are you finding this to be an educational trading session?
No.
I want to make sure people are enjoying this and getting some value out of this. Oh, look at that. Don't all hold back. No. People are golden, outstanding. All right. Very good. Good. I want to make sure I do my job. I spent a lot of time on this today. I wanted to drive this point home to you guys. Okay, good. Folks, this is where the money is. This is where the money is. Not whether the RSI is a 5-day or a 2-day. This is where the money is. Okay. This is where the money is. Okay. So I just want to show you one tool to help you. Okay. Let me just quickly go back. What was one of the, I'm going to be a little picky here, but just try to work with me here. Okay. So remember we were looking at Cisco. So here's my question to you. What if, thanks, Matt. What if Cisco wasn't doing this, but what if Cisco was doing this? Same stock. And I'll be honest with you, this price action is not that different than this price action. The only difference is this is moving at an angle, at a slope. And this is kind of doing like this. What's the word I'm looking for? What is this? What is this? Like a saucer bottom? Would that be accurate, Raleigh? Like a round
frying pan or something like that?
Right, like a frying pan, right? Like this doesn't really have a lot of directional bias. But right here, from right here to right here, I would say this is like an 8 price action. What am I trying to get at? That if you were to take this price action right here and you were to slope it like this would become a lot more attractive. So I'm going to show you one tool. Yeah, I don't know if it's a cup and a handle. It's more of like a saw. Like there's actually a pattern called like a saucer bottom or something. I'm not making this up.
That's true.
Matt, right? You know what I'm talking about, right, Raleigh?
Yeah.
Saucer, like a flat. There is a pattern like that. I'm having too much
I
fun.
remember the guy that I used to know, Steve Bigelow. He used to talk
Yes.
about those frying pan setups. He's a big believer in candlestick patterns.
He was, by the way, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was absolutely awesome. And he passed away, I think, during COVID, if I'm
Yeah, it was a
correct.
couple of years ago or so. He did
He
pass
was
away, and he's missed, but
and you know what, what I loved about the guy? He was like me. He was a meat and potatoes guy.
yes,
He didn't play around with the coochie fancy schmancy. He was into candlesticks, averages,
technical patterns.
technical
Yep.
stuff, simple meat and potatoes technical stuff. Too bad he's gone. I know a lot of successful traders that back in the day. But if you like him, you would love a lot of this, most of the stuff we do because not that different. Yeah. Hey, Glenn, you've been around the block. Would you say that the stuff I do complements Steve's stuff pretty well? That we're kind of on the same ball wavelength.
Hmm.
Good, good. We're not.
Absolutely. Yep.
There's a word for it. There's a word for it. Parallel We're in parallel universe to each other.
Yes.
We're in parallel universes to each other. That's the word. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is if you see shitty price action like this, but you have a decent slope, it's a little better. So I'm going to just show you, and I've shown you this before, but now I want you to now I want you to kind of see it for yourself. So indicator, let's go to our ADX. Now I have my set at 10. The standard setting is 14. If you use 14, you're going to be off by maybe 3%. It's not going to be a big deal, but I like to use 10. Okay. So just take volume off. You could see it right here. Now, notice we're trending down. Notice we're trending down here. Okay. Look what happens with the ADX. It goes from 9 to 17. Notice it's below. You see this line 20? This is my minimum right here. This is my minimum. I would only trade if the ADX is above 20. So when you're looking at a stock, and let's just take a quick look at Cisco. This is pretty important, so I just want to kind of put a cherry on top. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. So here, let's just put an ADX. Right here, you see this 40, 20, 20, 40? This is your sweet spot. This is your sweet spot. So you see how right now, if you're not so sure about Cisco, and all you have to do is come here. You see how ADX is struggling to get into 20? You don't want that. You want a stock that's thriving in the 20 to 40 area. So let's just do a little social experiment. Let's look at that. And I haven't done this before, but I want to show you this. This is the stock we were looking at before, ARWR, that has that really clean trend. It seems like there's still some slow, the bar chart uses AWS, and it seems like they're still a little slow. So there's still maybe some residual. You mentioned it this morning, Raleigh. You said that ancillary.
Yeah, auxiliary and ancillary services that
yeah,
are impacted. Companies depend on this, and then they supply us a service, and we don't get that service, and we're going like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're going like, "No."
Exactly. So they may have made some changes while it was off, and now they're changing it back or cache. But okay, this is what I'm talking about. Look, during this entire move, look where ADX is. Look how strong it is. Look how strong the ADX is. So my point is this: one way, if you're not 100% sure, check the ADX and see if the ADX is above 20. Now, Roger, what if the stock is moving down? Well, let me show you something. One thing about ADX, it's direction blind. It's direction blind. Let me find a good example. It's hard to find a good short right now with Dow Jones making all-time highs. Okay, that's perfect. And I want you to know that I did not do this beforehand, so I don't know what I'm going to find, but I know I'm going to find something good here. So, okay, there we go. Look what ADX, look at this trend. Look what ADX is doing. Notice this entire time for the last 2-3 weeks, has the ADX been below 20? Nope. It's direction blind. As long as there's a slope one way or the other, if it's like this, it'll be strong. If it's like this, it'll be strong. If it's like this, it'll be weak. So trend stops here for 2 weeks. What does ADX do? Starts flattening out and going down. Trend increases again. What does ADX do? Going up. So my suggestion is anytime you want to do the exercises we did today, my suggestion is to okay. My suggestion is to use this as a crutch till you get really good with your eyes. I don't need this. Richard doesn't need this. Matt doesn't need this. Evidently, Raleigh doesn't need it. We don't need. We've seen price action for a while, but if you can't identify a clean trend, start using the ADX indicator.
Yep.
Okay, and again, I use the 10-day indicator. Now we got pretty in depth today, and we covered a lot of ground. Now, what I'm going to do right now, a lot of people, because of this we had a class yesterday. It was the A-line class, but because of all of this AWS, internet, Amazon stuff, payments didn't go through. And what we did was, and I don't know why we did it yesterday, we gave people 1 hour to save money on the discount, and people were having a lot of problems. People were complaining. People were like, hey, I can't get my payment processor to work. My wife couldn't get her credit card processor to work, Raleigh, yesterday. She was trying to buy some stuff, and I think it was Bank of America or Wells Fargo or JP Morgan. She couldn't get the payment processor because the bank payment processor was hooked up to Amazon. Can you imagine that?
Yep.
And trading
someplace upline. Exactly right.
Yeah. So even though we weren't using those services, we could not get them to work. We couldn't get them to work because a company we were using was not able to work. My point is there was a lot of problems. So I'm going to do this again today. A lot of people missed this class yesterday. And this is a little bit different. We've had some really good success in this program. So let me go ahead and share my screen and do this class for you guys. And I think you guys will be very happy. I'll take about half an hour of your time. Raleigh will answer all the questions you guys have. And let me just center my screen. But I'm really glad that we were able to cover these topics today because they were very, very, very important.
Absolutely. And Roger, I'll say this straight up, and I'll ask the room to respond as well. Very, very few people talk about this subject the way you just did, in the level of detail that you did, with the level of patience that you did, and also demonstrating just the importance of price action. Because it's a throwaway term. A lot of people will say, oh, pay attention to price action, and people have no idea what that means. And you took the time to do that.
Well, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. All right, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and close my chat. I had it open this time. I'm going to close this chat. Please give me the courtesy. I've spent a lot of time preparing for today's session. Please give me the courtesy of paying attention to this because this will help you. And how we nailed all our September trades using the most basic trading pattern. The opportunities up for grabs this week. Now, profits and performance. We're not going to make any future claims. Using the tools that I've just showed you, we've been able to accomplish almost an 85% win rate over the last